Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to start with a new chapter, that is gravitation. In the previous chapter, which was force and laws of motion, we learned about the causes and the region for which any moving object comes to rest, or any object which is initially at rest comes under motion. In this chapter, we will understand that any object, irrespective of their mass, always experiences same acceleration, which is small g, when it is freely falling under the action of gravity at the same point on the earth. Before we start this lesson, let us begin with a story, and I am sure you must be already aware of this story, and many of you must be knowing about a very famous story about a person who was sitting under an apple tree. So there was a person who was sitting under an apple tree, and all of a sudden an apple has fallen down onto its head. After this incident, he started to wonder why that apple, instead of moving here and there, why it preferred directly falling down, why it is not moving in upward direction. This incident affected him so badly that he started to do a lot of research work, and ultimately he came to a conclusion that there is always an invisible force which is acting directly downward towards the center of the earth. That is, there is always a force acting in between two bodies having masses, and that force is known as force of gravitation, and the whole concept of gravitation was given by Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, so he was the only person who gave the concept of gravitation, and the person who was sitting under the apple tree was none other than this great scientist called Sir Isaac Newton. So let us start this interesting topic, that what is gravitation. Gravitation is defined as the force which is exerted by the earth on every object which is lying on its surface, and this is always an attractive force due to which any object on the surface of the earth gets attracted towards its center. So let us define gravitation. Gravitation is defined as, in mechanics, gravitation is a force that exists among all the material objects. By material objects I mean any object having some mass in the universe. And also very often it is asked, what is gravity? So gravity is nothing but the gravitation. It is also defined as a force that attracts a body towards the center of the earth. Due to gravitational property only, any object having mass gets attracted toward each other. Okay, and it is very compulsory that the body should have some mass. There are many examples in our day-to-day life, but for now I could give you a very simple example in which we see any object which is falling freely from a certain height. It always falls in a vertically downward direction. For example, if I drop this marker from this height, it is going to fall vertically in downward direction instead of moving here and there, right? And also if I am just standing on the surface of the earth, that is also due to the gravitational pull, due to which I am just intact towards the surface of the earth, over the surface of the earth. Or else if you are sitting beyond my screen, that is also due to the gravitational force. Okay, there are many more examples. For example, the atmosphere is held due to the gravitational force. During rainfall, all the raindrops, instead of moving here and there, always falls in vertically downward direction, and the river water, the streams of the river water always moves in vertically downward direction. So these are some of the examples in which we study about the gravitational force, and this gravitational force almost acts on any object having masses, or we can say that the gravitational force embraces our whole universe. If we talk about the moon, then we know that moon always keeps on orbiting around the earth, and the earth keeps on orbiting around the sun, and the sun itself keeps on orbiting around the galactic center. But why does that moon does not fall towards the surface of the earth? Why it just keeps on orbiting? Does it also have that gravitational property? So we say that yes, any object having some mass will have that attracting property. The moon is orbiting around the earth, around the surface of the earth, because first of all there is centripetal force and also there is gravitational force which is acting continuously. Due to the influence of that gravitational force, everything near to the surface of the earth gets attracted towards its center, and that is why moon does not fall on the surface of the earth and it keeps on orbiting around the surface of the earth. Now there is one more question which arises, that what factor quantifies this amount of gravitational force? How should we know the magnitude of the force which is being acting in between two objects so that one body will attract any other body? In order to study this fact, we have to study universal law of gravitation, which was also given by Sir Isaac Newton. This I will be explaining in my next lecture. So in my next video, I will be explaining about universal law of gravitation. So stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you.